Hey guys and girls, my name's Alan, welcome to this gameplay commentary. So as you can see, we're doing another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video today. And, it occurred to me the other day that when I did my other video talking about Call of Duty World War II being announced, I didn't actually talk about my feelings about the actual genre, which I guess is the main talking point. I went into quite a few different tangents and talked about other aspects of Advanced Warfare and the devs behind it. So, World War II. Is it a surprise that we're going back in time? No, it isn't. I was, however, expecting Treyarch to be the first people to do it. I imagined that there would be an Advanced Warfare 2, in which case, as I said in the previous video, it would have made my decision to not buy Call of Duty this year very easy. But now that they've decided to go back in time, I am intrigued. My interest has peaked a little bit, but I'm tempering expectations and I'm going to wait and see. Once the game is released, I'm definitely not pre-ordering, and if I can play the beta, great, but I will be waiting until the game's fully come out before I make a decision to whether or not I buy the game or if I don't buy the game. I guess it would be nice to play a, CoD game set in the past on next gen, because let's face it, it's been long overdue, to be quite honest with you. And Battlefield's already jumped on that, going back in time sort of thing with Battlefield 1. But as I said again in another previous video, Battlefield just doesn't really fill that gap of Call of Duty for me. It's a good game in its own right, but I can never find myself spending as much time on a Battlefield session as I can on a CoD session, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just different. They are two inherently different games. As much as people like to compare the two, they are different games, and in my opinion, I treat them differently. I play them differently, and the amount of time I spend on them is very different as well. And Battlefield has never really been good at making a decent campaign, whereas Call of Duty has generally been quite top level when it comes to that sort of thing. So I do generally enjoy the Call of Duty campaigns, even though they are short. But you play it, sometimes it's a bit funny, sometimes it's a bit silly, but it's always action packed, to say the least. And with Battlefield 1 for instance, I sort of enjoyed the campaign, but it felt just like a training session for multiplayer. So it wasn't really, it wasn't all that, to be honest with you. But it was nice that they put it in, and I guess it was better than nothing. But it was basically just a training session for multiplayer. Gameplay walkthrough, by the way, is on my players channel if you're interested, if you haven't seen it yet. I think it'll also be interesting to see how Sledgehammer approach this. There had a lot of feedback, obviously, from Advanced Warfare. A lot of it was negative, but we'll see if they take any of that on board. If they don't, then Advanced Warfare will be the first and only game that I ever buy from the studio. But yeah, we'll wait and see how they obviously treat this next game, and it's the first time that they will have done an old style Call of Duty like this, back to basics, well, hopefully back to basics, and set in the past as well. So yeah, there's a lot of expectations around this, and Sledgehammer are in this unique position, and they were in this position as well for when Advanced Warfare came out, is that they were the first to do it, and so there's a lot of pressure on you, but at the same time, because you're the people who are leading the charge sort of thing, you can set the industry standard. Well, okay, maybe not the industry standard, but you can set the standard for what people can expect from the next Call of Duty game, that sort of thing. And unfortunately, they just didn't deliver with Advanced Warfare, and Treyarch absolutely wiped the floor with what they did. So, I mean, yeah, it's good because you can do it first, but it's also bad because if you mess it up, then someone else who comes along next can just say, look, this is how you do it, your effort was terrible. And that's what Black Ops 3 did really well. And they sort of, I mean, yeah, as I said, I didn't really enjoy boost jumping, but they made it work, and I had fun in the game. So, it can be done. It's hard, but it can be done. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Sledgehammer can do with the campaign. That I'm definitely hyped for, and I think will be pretty good. But multiplayer, well, just have to wait and see. As I said, hopefully play the beta if I can, if there's an open one. Definitely not going to pre-order, so if someone wants to give me a closed beta key, then I would appreciate that. But otherwise, I just have to wait for the retail version. And I did do a trailer analysis of the revealed trailer. It's on Acom Vision if anyone's interested in watching it. I'll probably link it on the screen and in the description. The vibe that I'm getting from that analysis is that they're going for like a Band of Brother-esque type game. So maybe you stick with the unit and you go throughout the campaign together. And obviously the opening scenes of that game, I mean, it's probably going to be set on the D-Day landings, Normandy landings. It's basically a video game version of Saving Private Ryan. And they're not the first games to do it, and they probably won't be the last game to do it either. But it's a good start. I mean, it's a good film, so can't go wrong there. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check out the film. I think it's very good. And as I said, trailer analysis video is on Acom Vision if you're interested to hear my thoughts on that revealed trailer. So yeah, just one other thing to talk about before I move on, and that is apparently there is going to be a standalone version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered coming out this summer. It's just rumours at this point, but there have been some sightings on websites and stuff like that which have since been pulled, but were briefly available to see. And that is a release date of June the 30th for PS4, and I think it was July the 30th for Xbox One. So it seems as though, obviously, because the game was a bonus for ordering Infinite Warfare, it seems as though that's considered as DLC in the eyes of Sony and Activision. So they get 30 days advance. If it's true, we don't know yet. This is all rumors, just to clarify. We'll have to wait and see. And I don't know if it's going to be a disc version or just a digital download. Hopefully it's a disc version, and hopefully it has all the maps included. I mean, I did talk about a potential for a Game of the Year version of Modern Warfare Remastered, so hopefully that's the case. My original prediction for a disc version of MWR was spring, but then I didn't bank on there being the map pack being released. Then obviously when they released the map pack, I did say summer, because then I predicted a Game of the Year version and well, you know, a complete edition, if you will, not necessarily GTOY. But summer's a good time to release it, because obviously it's a few months before the next Call of Duty games, so it gives people time to play it. And if people are starting to fatigue from the previous Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, obviously they've got something else to get their hands into as well. So I guess it kind of makes sense if you look at it that way. There's just one final point that I want to mention. Well, it's more of a discussion than anything else, but I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and I was saying to him, you know, this Call of Duty World War II could be a turning point, just like Call of Duty Modern Warfare was when it first came out. Prior to Call of Duty 4, there was just World War shooters, and then as soon as COD 4 came out, a lot of other companies started doing modern shooters as well. And you know, in the past couple of years, it's been nothing but, you know, boost jumping and sci-fi and spacey, that sort of stuff. And so Call of Duty Sledgehammer, you know, going back to history with Call of Duty World War II could, you know, be another turning point. I mean, we don't know what other developers are planning to do, but it's a safe bet that, you know, given the popularity of going back in time now, what with Battlefield 1 and obviously Call of Duty doing it, a lot of other developers are probably going to be doing the same. For sure, I would bet good money that Treyarch are working on a World War game at the moment. Probably World at War 2, don't know, but I bet a good amount of money that it's not going to be set in the future, and it's definitely not going to be boost jumping, sci-fi, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's quite exciting to see this transition. We've gone full circle now, basically. We started off World War II, went through to the modern era, then went to the futuristic era, now we're back at the start of World War II again. So hopefully eventually we get a few good World War II games. As I said, Treyarch are coming along, so hopefully they'll release something decent, bring something good to the table. Not too sure yet what Infinity Ward's going to do. That studio is in a mess right now. Infinite Warfare was not a very popular game at all, and so I don't know, a part of me hopes that they stick with a modern shooter, return to what made them so famous in the first place, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so I don't know how much is left of this particular match, but I think there's a few more minutes, but I've run out of stuff to talk about. So I'm just going to let it play on in the background, but I'm going to end the commentary here. Right, so that's all I really wanted to talk about today. As I said, it's just funny because I watched back the other video that I did, and I didn't really talk about my views on going back to World War II. And in summary, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out. Obviously, going back to World War II would be interesting. And let's just see if they add any more locales. The 1st Battalion did fight in North Africa as well, so maybe we'll see a bit of that, as well as just mainland Europe. As I said, nothing's been confirmed yet, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But definitely looking forward to going back to basics. None of this boost jumping crap. And as I said, this is Sledgehammer's game, in my opinion, their final chance to make an impression, because Advanced Warfare was terrible, but the campaign had promise. So who knows? If they do well with this one, my hope is rekindled for them as a studio, but otherwise, well, that's it, done and dusted. Alright, if you've got any thoughts you'd like to share with me regarding stuff I've talked about or anything you want to add, then let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed the content, consider tapping the like button, I really do appreciate it. And until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.